This is a transmission to all starseeds and lightworkers.
We have agents that spend part of their time monitoring the New Age disclosure industry. It is called an industry because it is a sector within our economy that produces goods and related services. We have been injecting psychological memes into American culture under DROPA since the inception of the New Age in the 1970s. We drew heavily upon several older esoteric traditions to root the meme into the psyche of those who were fed up with the traditional religious values. Basically, we knew that the older systems in American culture were losing their influence over the mind. Prior to the arrival of the New Age meme, which would be the catalyst for the disclosure meme, esoteric thought systems were obscure to the surface culture. Thus, the term underground was invented. Occult systems slowly came to the surface over the end of the 19th century and organically grew throughout the 20th century. The purpose of our monitoring these psychological structures was to see how they spread, much like a virus does, through the human body. Dualism has always been the key to controlling the masses. We call it biformity. We knew secular thought was growing. This was a significant time frame which acted much like an antivirus. Its function is to unpolarize the meme. We knew that implanted belief complexes designed to distract the spiritual collective from the world would eventually give way to AI systems, but not as soon as we expected. Most biologically based occult systems were hidden in negatively polarized meme projects to repel cultural attention. Biformity projects were designed to create hive-minded groups who could infect others. Again, this operates exactly like a virus. All of this was designed to replace older religions that were losing their influence. We also had to watch for collateral damage in the form of rogue mind-controlled targets that were capable of initiating Armageddon via the alien theme. That's something I cannot disclose at this time. We had implants in a number of individuals that were to be released as AI systems matured, and many body-based systems were already functioning throughout the culture. Yes, these were efforts by certain factions of the New Age disclosure industry to shut you up. You didn't know this, but extra pressure was enforced to obtain the results through social media, which triggered deteriorating complexes in your psyche. This pressure was initiated from profit motives by certain organizations on the disclosure end of the spectrum because it was getting a footing in the field. There is no threat anymore because the event horizon has been reached and it's entering a black hole, if you will. It was always destined to run its course as the population woke up. There are many agents and assets working behind the scenes. Many of the well-known faces representing the disclosure paradigm are merely pawns, or should we say, blind assets, due to their gullibility and craving for power. In most cases, they suffered from childhood enforcement. Another term is breaking the will, just like you would a horse. As you discovered, the New Age disclosure paradigm is and was a mind control project that started over a century ago and even further back, by certain elite factions operating behind the veil of names such as the Illuminati and Cabal. These are titles we call candy for pawns. Pawns are people susceptible to hive mind, which at this juncture still occupies a high percentage of humanity. The reason you were given permission to tell your audience about me and why this interview is being allowed is because the real disclosure is happening, and that disclosure is the alien narrative breaking apart, of which you and many others are playing a part. The lid is being blown on the whole thing. This is because science has caught up with metaphysics. More and more people are catching on to the scam, and the Biformity project is no longer needed. You would be surprised to know who are active agents and who are blind assets. Just know that many of them do not know who's pulling the strings. Much of the stories of angels guiding people through synchronicity, Those who became teachers were coordinated efforts by agents serving both financial purposes and narrative injections. Consider a person who has demonstrated a strong affinity for spiritual experiences is reported by agents acting as rainbow children in the 1970s. This can come from two directions: those who naturally were prone to extreme spiritual belief and experiences, and those who were implanted. Out-of-body experiences were the main indicator for both because they created the psych space for angelic hallucinations and kundalini release, the mix of which results in being easily guided by hidden human hands. For example, a person imagining themselves to be the incarnation of an Egyptian pharaoh is invited to Egypt on a spiritual quest by actors. It is suggested that they are being called by a specific alien race to uncover a great secret. Consider that the actors is another word for agents. Before they leave, a book is planted by the roadside, let's say The 9 Faces of Christ, which includes a chapter on Egypt and the Christ. The actor suggests they go to a local Indian reservation before they leave to meditate in preparation for the trip. The actor, who is not driving, and this is important, starts up a conversation about Christ, Egypt, and reincarnation. It is important for the driver to be in control. As they near a turn on the road where the book is planted, the actor says he needs to urinate. The driver is encouraged to get out and relax by the road. The book is planted near a tree in plain sight and, of course, is discovered by the driver. This is one example of leading by planted actors. Yes, that's it. Yes, and that is why it was discussed. I can't answer this at this time. There will be other informants coming forth that will be revealing the same information. It is not determined yet what platforms this will be released, although there are a few main players on the list. You'll be notified as this moves along.